Soldiers of Reddit. What was something that was so funny even the drill sergeant couldn't help but giggle?
You have about 30 seconds to unfuck yourself starting 28 seconds ago. I don't know if that was an old saying amongst all of them or he made it up on the spot, but goddamn did I almost fucking lose it. I think shit that good has passed down through the generations. Some private hears his DS say it and years later he's repeating it. Fort Benning. Drills were searching for contraband after a private was found with chewing tobacco. One of the DS got a broom handle and started pushing the ceiling tiles up to see if anything would slide out. A happy sock fell out and hit him in the face. The other DS walked off into the office. He was cough laughing the whole time. We were smoked into oblivion. Someone in basic threw their half-eaten schnitzel into the toilet and tried to flush it. It didn't flush. He left. So we are all in our rooms as we hear one of our drills scream to get out and line up. We line up and he was one of the super serious guys. 190 meters tall, easily 100 kilograms of pure muscle and always mean mugging everyone. He starts screaming at us telling us that we are pigs. No one knew what went on. Then he started yelling someone threw a fucking schnitzel into the toilet. As he finished he started smiling. First time in months I saw the dude smile. Everyone started laughing hard. He got angry again and started repeating himself. He starts laughing once he hits the schnitzel part again. We all laugh again. He just tells us we are dumbasses and someone better fish that piece of schnitzel out ASAP. From a friend at air assault, they were fast roping down off towers and there was one guy that was deathly afraid of heights, but was still making his way to pass, and he was just standing there, and the instructor yells something along the lines of stop being a pussy and go. He proceeds to jump into the rope, lose his grip, and fall the entire way down, while screaming air assault, until he hit the ground. He broke his arm, and had to go with the next class. Fort Jackson, October 31st 2002. The entire male barracks of the company, except for 2 guys, decided to dress up for Halloween. Instead of wearing our proper PT attire for bed check, we all tore the sheets off of our bed and fashioned them into togas. Every night in Army Basic, you had to line up on both sides of the barracks with your toes touching a line, painted in front of each row of beds. It was called toe the line. So the barracks door flies open and our drill sergeant walks in. He's not even looking at us. He's looking down at his clipboard and reading off names. He gets about halfway down the list of names and looks up for a half second. Then he just stops and starts laughing. Then his head snaps back up and he bellows, "Why are you out of uniform?" All but the 2 guys who wore their PTs yelled toga the line. He starts laughing again but quickly recovers. Then he says, "I wasn't talking about you. I mean you 2 assholes who aren't wearing togas." Front leaning rest position move. So those 2 guys get down to do push-ups and the rest of us jump down and start pushing too. He yells again, "Why are the rest of you on the floor?" We didn't even plan this part, but we all said, if they go down, we go down. It was something that one of our DS's had been drilling into us from day one. Well, one time, when I was in basic training, my petty officer was going around asking questions to people. If you got it wrong, everyone had to do push-ups. If you got it right, he just moved on to the next person. I was in panic mode, because all the questions before now had been really difficult, or maybe I was just stupid. In retrospect, I'm inclined to believe the latter. Anyway, my turn came up, and the interaction went as follows. Petty Officer, Dandy Lau, what is the Navy's birthday? Me, ecstatic because this is one of the few bits of trivia my brain had decided to retain. Relieved, sir. October 13th, sir. Petty Officer, what year? Me, without missing a beat. Every year, sir. The room was quiet for a moment as the horror sank in. Everyone laughed at me. The petty officer laughed at me. Not a mocking laughter, but a sincere, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're this stupid" kind of laughter. I wanted to die. I had to do a lot of push-ups. Years ago while doing basic. During the course, you obviously have lots of drill training. Marching, standing at attention, at ease, turning etc. We're all in the drill hall practicing away, when somehow one of the recruits lets out a high-pitched squeal and falls over. Dude managed to squish his nuts together somehow while coming to attention. All 3 instructors sprinted over and started jacking him up. and we're laughing so hard at the same time that they are almost crying. A master corporal was calling drill for us once, and his voice cracked on the command. So he went from yelling in his normal kind of deep voice, he was a big dude, to a loud shrill dude impersonating a woman kind of voice. Everyone took a second, but the other instructors for our platoon cracked and everyone just kind of laughed. Not exactly a drill sergeant, but during basic training we were marching in formation when we suddenly hear a thump. Turns out one of our comrades dropped his helmet. Of course our instructor saw this and responds with "In Deutsche Helm fällt nur einmal, a German helmet is only dropped once." Pretty common military textbook phrase. He commands the soldier to pick up his helmet and we carry on marching. About 30 seconds later we hear the same sound again. So I turn around and ask myself how you can possibly fail the simple task of helmet retention. You basically just clip it to your carry rig while already waiting to hear the instructor saying the same phrase again. What do I see? Our instructor turning around, doing his personal walk of shame, and picking up his helmet. Let's just say we weren't short on beer when we celebrated the end of basic. Dude was told he couldn't trim his unibrow. If he did he'd have to shave both eyebrows as well. So that's what dude did, shaved it all. DS lost it laughing, and then made the private report every morning to have them sharpied on with a new expression every day. Added, the best ones were when he was given 2 squares as eyebrows or a constant surprised look. And thanks for my first gold. I shall name him Philip. Navy Boot Camp 2008. We had a big Samoan guy in our division who loved singing Disney songs. This dude started singing A Whole New World in a shower with 80 other dudes and all of us started singing along. I can remember our RDC just shaking his head and grinning. Navy Boot Camp in Orlando, Florida in August of 1989. The company was split up in two, on either side of the center line facing the front of the bay. Our company commander had us doing 4 count jumping jacks where we all had to clap on the 2nd and 4th together. It had to sound like one clap. There were 68 of us, and even though we struggled, all of us eventually got it. Well, all of us but one. This poor guy just could not clap with the rest of us. He was eventually pulled up to the front of the bay where he would lead the exercise. At the last second, every time, he would change his pace and ruin it. The company commander smiled throughout and eventually just keeled over laughing at this guy. It's funny though, that I don't remember being angry even though we must have been doing jumping jacks for about 3 hours in 100-degree heat. I do remember that the only reason we quit was because the cement floor was too slippery with sweat to safely continue. It's so weird when you find people like that. My mum's the same. She just cannot keep a beat. And you know what? That's really fucking hard to do. If you try and clap without matching a pattern, most people falter and hit some strange offbeat that's still actually congruent. To be able to repeatedly clap with no consistent timing is tricky. We were all sitting in the classroom cleaning our weapons when the drill sergeants rushed in and told us to form up outside now. We all bust ass to get outside, line up ready to go. Couple minutes later, drill sergeant comes out holding a goddamn rifle. One of our air wasters left his fucking rifle inside the classroom. Which one of you slack-jawed numbnuts doesn't have their rifle? The soldier identifies himself, and he is called up and directed to smoke all of us. Beautiful thing about the army. You fuck up and everyone else pays for it. So he's up there about to smoke us, but instead he's just frozen. Eyes as big as saucers. Well, what'll it be, Goma? Silence. Drill sergeant is pissed and gets in his face and tells for a minute. Now get at it. He concludes. The soldier is frozen, but the silence is broken. Breer it. The soldier lets out the longest and most cartoonish fart I've ever heard. We all do our best to stifle our laughter as we prepare for the shit show that's coming. Drill sergeant says nothing though. Then he cracks a smile. Get the fuck back inside. Now, 40 rounds. Drill sergeant. In Air Force BMT you have to carry this stupid flashlight with you when marching that had this yellow cone on it. One guy in my flight got tired of holding it, so he decided to have his belt hold it like a GD would have done with his lightsaber. Well, the instructor sees this and tells him that he has to quick pull out your lightsaber and fight Darth Vader right behind you, another trainee. Watching these two idiots have a lightsaber fight was the funniest thing I've seen, which must have been for my instructor, since he walks away belly laughing at the two retarded Star Wars nerds. Our sergeant liked to take his Smokey Bear hat and tap recruits on the bridge of their nose while yelling at them that he wasn't touching them. I happened to fall in behind him walking down the bay. He thought it would be a good idea to spin around and poke the brim of his hat into somebody's face. Hit me square in the chest. I'm 6 feet 6 inches tall. I can't even remember what he yelled exactly, but he was trying very hard not to laugh, then spun back around and went into his office with the assistant T. They started laughing so loud that we all heard it. When we were doing combatives, I made a Pulp Fiction reference because the guy wrestling kinda looked like Samuel L. Jackson, and I caught one of the drill sergeants chuckling. All I said was, "Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?" After a long and horrible 20-mile run in 100-degree temperatures, the DS leans way in towards one private who looks ready to die. "I bet you wish I'd die, just so you could piss on my grave, right?" "No, drill sergeant." "And why is that?" "Cause once I get out to the army, I'm never standing in another line again." "Drill sergeant,